Hello and welcome back. This is video number 2, and we are going to discuss delivery platforms. In other words, how are you going to deliver your webinar replay? Now, there are two different ways of delivering your webinar replay. And the first way is by kind of mimicking a live experience by utilizing some high-end software tools. Now, the first one is called EverWebinar, and EverWebinar does cost a good amount of money. It's about at least $1,000. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to mimic a live experience, whereas it's not really live. So what it allows you to do is think about this. Your prospect comes in at any given time and you set something up on EverWebinar. And it allows you to kind of make it so that your prospects, as they watch, questionnaires, polls come out of the blue at a certain timestamp that you specify. Or when it comes to your pitch, you can have certain buy buttons come out so that your prospects will be able to engage and interact with you, whereas you're really not on the live webinar. It'll have chat up. It'll basically make it look like it's live when it's actually not. So sometimes that experience can work, and sometimes that experience can actually hurt you depending on who your audience is. Now, we've actually done some tests, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. Now, if you can't afford EverWebinar, there is another software that you can use called Webinar Geo. That's Webinar Geo. So basically what Webinar Geo does is it does it a lot more than EverWebinar without the high ticket price. So really what it comes down to is with Webinar Geo, it allows you to record your live webinar, allows you to take that live webinar, download it, and you can also automate it and kind of create a fake live experience similar to EverWebinar. But of course, EverWebinar has a lot more features, but Webinar Geo allows you to do that as well. And we were able to kind of work out a 40% off discount for you. And if you want to check it out, this is not available to the public. You can go to checkthisoutRightNow.net/Webinar Geo discount. Now, the second way of delivering your webinar is just straight up autoresponder. No worry about having to create or mimic a live webinar. Simply put, you can simply set it up utilizing systems such as GetResponse, Aweber, or Ontraport. It has a lot of tracking and statistics that you can actually use to improve your business. But the only major problem is that Ontraport costs $297 per month, whereas GetResponse or Aweber kind of starts at $25, $35 or more, and it progresses from there. So you obviously will save a lot of money by going with GetResponse or Aweber versus Ontraport. But if you have a little bit of money, I would definitely recommend going with Ontraport because you can do a lot more. And we found that the inbox delivery rate, in other words, the emails getting to your prospect's inbox, is a lot higher. So now that you know what is available to you, I really want to jump straight in, talk about the actual email autoresponder series, because if you really think about it, the secret to conversions is in your autoresponder follow-up email series. It's not really in the software that you use. And now, through our testings, we actually found that GetResponse, Aweber, or Ontraport, or even straight autoresponder series actually work really well when it comes to highly technical audiences. Now, if your audience is not highly technical, you might want to go with something like EverWebinar or Webinar Geo. But bottom line, really what it comes down to is your email course itself, because that's going to be how you gain trust, how you build trust, how you talk about your product's benefits, and how they actually are beneficial to your prospect. So with that said, let's move on to video number 3 and talk about the email course formula.